Wilberts wanted their sugarcane crop dusted, and they never had tried dusting sugarcane. The only thing that Huffdale and dusted was cotton before that, and so it was more or less of an experiment for them to come to Plaquemine, since the Wilberts had contacted them, I don't know how, calling or writing or what, but they found out about the dusting, and they got in contact with the Huffdale and had them to come to Plaquemine to dust the sugar cane to see, how it would do. And so, of course, when Miles and the pilot, and I can't remember his name, Elliot something was the pilot, and they came in the airplane, and they landed the airplane on Wilbert's property, and then Elliot did. He flew the airplane, and Miles drove what's these little two-seat cars? What do you call them? Roadster. A Ford Roadster. And just one seat, two people can ride in it. And when it would rain, you'd have to get out and put sides up on, hook them on and keep it from raining on you. And so Miles drove the roads to Louisiana, because where they had to park the airplane was too far, to come into town to live, and they were going to be there for 2 weeks, and so they and I don't remember where they were living. Of course, then they didn't have hotels and motels. Like, they had one hotel in Plaquemine, and of course it was so expensive that they weren't filled up all the time, and there was no motels, so people would rent a room out for room and board, and that's where people would go, if they were coming just for a week or just overnight or whatever, like you would rent a motel room now. Well, that's the way people would rent one room, and you'd eat breakfast and dinner and supper with them at their meal time, and they would, you could just go and come like you would in any motel. So I can't remember where Miles and who they were living with for the 2 weeks. But anyway, the first day they were there, of course, they had to come up to the city hall to talk to the mayor. And so he introduced me to him. And so Miles kept standing at my desk, while they were talking. And of course, Elliot being the pilot, he had more say-so over what to do in the transaction than Miles had. So Miles wasn't paying too much attention to them. He was just talking to me. And so and to dust anything, cotton or any trees or anything they dust now, you have to do it late in the evening when it's there's moisture on the crops, and early in the morning before the sun comes up and dries it up, because you put this powder on it and then it sticks to the crop rather than all blow away. And so of course that left them all day long. They work just late in the afternoon, and it wouldn't take them but maybe a couple of hours to get the airplane started and do whatever they had to do to it and fill it up and all. And they'd put these big old sacks of poison in the cockpit, and Miles was straddled the airplane like this, and he'd get the stuff and fill the hopper up with the poison, and then they'd come and zoom down and open those shuttles and put the poison down, and then Miles would put some more in. Oh, it scared me. I'd go out there and watch him after we got married. I'd go out and watch him, and I'd cry the whole time he was out. Cry the whole time he was out, because here he was straddling that airplane and with them zooming down, and they'd get this close to the crops, you know, to put that poison on.
Nothing but throw them on?
No, no, nothing. And they'd zoom down like this, and then they'd do like this, and come back again and zoom down again. Oh, I don't know how Miles lived through that. But anyway, for 2 weeks, they did that. So that first night, he asked me for a date, and I told him okay. And then every day he'd ask me, go out with him tonight, go out tonight, let's do something tonight. And of course he had that little roadster, you know, we'd get in that roadster.
Did you like him?
Yes, I liked him. As soon as I saw him, the same as he liked me, it was love at first sight. It really was. It really was.
Did he have to flirt with you much? Did he flirt with you much?
No. No.
Did he bring you flowers?
No, boys didn't bring flowers and candy like that way back in those days. They didn't have the money to buy stuff like that.
What did y'all do on your dates?
Get in that car and ride around, or we'd go to a movie, or we'd come back home and sit down and just visit. Just visit, and I couldn't stay out later than 11 o'clock at night. 21 years old, had to be in by 11. And by 11, if he had come at 8 o'clock at night, and we'd be sitting in the living room until 11, and they'd say at 11 o'clock he'd better leave, because, well, not Miles, he didn't have to do Miles, but any of the other boys that I was dating, he'd say, you better tell them to go at 11, because if they don't, I'm going to throw my shoe up against the wall, and you better tell them to leave when you hear that shoe. And 2 or 3 times he did have to throw the shoe at the wall before they leave.